I think I miss maybe the most that there were more freedom doing like freestyle raves, parties, clubs. And these days it's like really complicated with paperwork and laws, and I don't know, it changed a lot.
And these days, to promote a party, mostly was with paper flyers. With good luck, you had an announcement on the local radio stations.
I miss in general the fact that you were not connected to a social media, that the kids today have a different way of educate themselves about subculture and music and club culture and drugs.
1989 to 1991, we went to parties, but more to discotheques, to the disco. It was in the suburbs, and it was like they start playing, let's call it techno, but not the proper one. So, and then they played in the next round. They played something totally different, like metal, typical disco. And so music for everyone, apart in the night. And at two at night was finished. And then, but not outside. Outside they started fighting. It was so violent and strange. So and then we started discovering the Berlin nightlife. Then went to Tresor Club. That was a game changer, actually. So entering the door, everything was cool. And then we went downstairs to the basement, and you know the smelling and the intimity. Yeah. So there was the DJ booth was on the side, was not important. And then there was no light, there was only fog or strobe. Was so new, everything was new. And of course we tried to copy that feeling to the suburbs where we are from, to find a basement and have this typical basement feeling and we started
very small,
started working on it.
They found an abandoned factory.
Yeah, abandoned factory.
And they cleaned it out. It was full of trash.
We didn't expect it so much people, but I don't know how many people came, maybe 100. But 100 for a really small basement.
And got bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And at that time, techno was still something new. Was not something already big. So it was early 90s, it was still something which was not mainstream at all. In the suburbs, we had a lot of great locations. There was some industry which kind of like lost its purpose, and it was all empty. We just occupied them. I mean, they did. I was too small back then. But I realized, as I told you very quick, I don't want to be on the dance floor. I want to be in a DJ booth. That's how it started. 100%. I mean, the early parties changed everything. I like running away secretly from home to go to one of these parties in an old factory, and I heard the DJ playing some acid. That was for me a life-changing moment. I never wanted to do or hear anything else than this. I saw this turntable, and I was like one of these typical kids observing the fingers, trying to sneak something to see what's written on the label of the record, but there was a DJ who was playing only white labels. I saw the turntable with this acid music and the little needle from the turntable and the super loud sound and like all these people dancing for hours already. And I was really deeply impressed by this moment. I decided maybe this moment that I never want to do something else in my life. So that was a key moment. I think I had a bunch of key moments in my life, but that was definitely one of them. I mean, we are both the nerds. All the others, they had cars, and we bought 808 and 909, you know? We really wanted to make it happen.
But nobody told us how to make acid. It's a drum machine called 808, no? We spell it in German. And then, okay, there's a store in Nuremberg, in Bavaria. They sell used drum machines at this time.
Yeah, basically you spend all your money on gear.
Yeah.
Like, drum machine was a bunch of thousands.
At this time,
Mark.
I spent all my money on gear.
And then he was sitting in his garage with all this gear alone. And I showed up for some reason because I heard he is not just a DJ, he has also the gear. And then we started jamming and never stopped since then. I think it's trust, basically, like really deep trust and knowing someone for such a long time. There's so much happening in our lives, yeah, so it was never boring. So when we started, it was always traveling the world everywhere. It's kind of like cool family we choose. We don't have to explain too much about music. I mean, we do, of course, because we know better. Yeah, I know better, he knows better. And we respect each other for what we do and like different music. And so he's more into sound design and arty stuff. I'm pretty much into dance floor and still trying to figure out.
Trying to find overlapping moments from both words.
Yeah.
You want to eat something?
This place here is in an industrial building and has a totally different vibe. As you can see, it's a big room, and we learned over the years, after the many studios we built, that the room itself is the half of the process. It's kind of like a portal for inspiration, hopefully. But you can open a portal to the inspiration sources of the gods, of the techno gods and the dancehall gods, and from everywhere from the universe. That's the studio we deserved after all these years in studios full of empty beer bottles and overloaded ash trees. But it's true, the DJ Kicks was always on the bucket list, and we know this format a very long time. I think since Carl Craig, was it the first one? I think it was the first one, the orange one, yeah. And we never made one for some reason. And now I'm happy and proud how harmonic the process was.
It's a process. It's not it's a half planned because of all the tracks, of the selection. And then some happy accidents are.
And Szary's music taste is super weird. So he's listening to music which is basically not listenable. He likes sound effects who fake noise cancellation mistake. You know, when you have noise cancellation headphones and someone smashes the door, you have this super bassy whoop moments. He's kind of like the ambient noise IDM sound design music end game boss.
I also like converting MP3 to MP3 to MP3 in the lowest resolution, which is what's really nice. It's overmodulated.
Yeah, so this is sometimes not easy for someone like me, who is basically pretty much a DJ inside. In this, I have this in my DNA. I saw myself in charge not to make it not too weird, you know. So I tried to control this chaos a little bit. I think in the end I used a field recording I made in Kingston, Jamaica, when I was there last year to record music with the Kitschkrieg guys. And I was sitting in the studio because there was a dancehall crew of like 6 or 7 young Kingston MCs. They were still awake from last night, and they've been to, that was the day when Vibes Cartel got released from jail, and Vibes Cartel went straight to a club, rented the whole club, like drinks were for free for everyone, and these guys were performing that night. And I was really impressed by that and just recorded what this conversation they had. I used a part of it for the mix, so I sent it to the Kitschkrieg guys and asked them, can we put that on the mix, or are we getting into trouble using it? We thought when we go to the studio we put the mix together and then we see what's missing and then we make the track for the missing parts. And then we found the tracks on our hard drive. So this mega was waiting and to be finished, and used it for the mix. It has this kind of like James Holden / Modeselektor Moderat track, whatever in between.
Sometimes it's a pain. So.
And okay, you remember that pain?
Yeah, I remember that pain, but it's not a bad pain. It's like it's a challenge. Put this track beside, and then let's see, and then okay, after 2 months there's no space anymore for this track, and then okay, it's somewhere on a hard drive, and years later
you forgot about it already.
And then you have the moment what Gernot talking about. So this January 2025, the track appears again. It's a second chance.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
And I see always cowboys riding in the desert in slow motion in the break, because it's kind of like Ennio Morricone, whatever. This is the typical relationship you have with your tracks and or with your mix. You have pictures and feelings.
There was a party on a yard, and it was a concrete yard, and then with semi-fast, so techno, so 145 BPM, and then I was riding, and then so crazy, and it was really warm outside in September, and then I went to the studio, and I was inspired by the situation, and then they started, okay. I made the construct, the first line. In the same moment, I had a book in my bag. It was a poem about birds. I took this inspiration from this 4-line poem. Took a microphone and I screamed, I screamed the lyrics before I left the studio. And then next or 2 days later, I played to Gernot, and then so, what's going on? And then he made an edit arrangements and some moving. So it's
less weird.
Less weird. You always go back in an archive, and you can record on your phone some audio field recordings, and you will find a little second you can use for building a drum or something else. Yeah, same with photos.
I think you are a collector.
I'm a collector, yeah.
Collect sounds and you collect pictures. For example, a record collection is a memory too. So when you listen to a record you bought like a long time ago, you got it from someone or you played it very often, then all the memory comes back. We have a good time and we have a good life, and we just try to collect as many memories as possible. I think a mix should entertain you while cleaning up, driving a car, having a good time at home. Some maybe play it loud when you have friends there, but it has to find the balance in between. When you make a mix which needs a lot of your attention, then it's also not good. So we try to balance that out and make it kind of like for our world easy listening. And
to find maybe a genre, we both have dogs, and when you go out with the dog in the forest or somewhere else, we call it Gassi. Gassi, Gassi.
Yeah, it's Gassi.
It's Gassi
music.
Yeah.
Music to walk your dog.